Hey, what's up, everybody? I have a couple tips that I would like to share on the game Puzzle and Dragons, and these tips are more geared towards the players who are just starting out with the game or thinking about giving the game a shot or have been playing for like a week or two. So let's get right into it. The first tip that I would like to give is that you can pretty much roll any leader that you want. As soon as you start this game, you play through the tutorial, and after the tutorial, it gives you 5 free magic stones, and with those stones, it makes you do a rare egg pull. Now, with this rare egg machine, it's possible to roll pretty much any leader that you want, like pretty much anything you want outside of like event monsters and stuff like that. So what happens is that you download the app, you play through the tutorial, you roll your leader, and if it's something that you don't want, then you can just delete the app, reinstall, and just keep on doing it till you roll whatever you want. And it's possible to roll like a top leader if you just keep on doing this. I would say that this is definitely something that you would want to do if you want to have fun with the game. I remember, like, I did not know about this, like, rerolling apps, so I never got to do it, but I was so high of a rank, like rank 80, and I didn't have any good monsters, and I was about to quit the game, and then I was like, well, I'm just going to roll all of my magic stones on the rare egg machine, and I ended up pulling a Horus, which is, like, in the top 5 monsters. So that pretty much saved me and kept me interested in the game. So definitely spend the time, like, if you're interested in playing a game that's, like, really fun, definitely spend the time to roll a very good leader at the start of the game. Now, another tip I want to give is how to refresh your leader. In this game, your friends can use you as a helper, and after they use you as a helper, they can't use you again until you log in again. So what you want to do is log in pretty much as many times, or as often as you would like. But the more times you log in, the more your friends can use you if they wish, and the more PAL points that you get. So in order to log in and out, you got to close out the app. So like on iOS, you would go into the multitasking and just delete the app. On Android, you'd force close it and all that stuff. So then you just load back up the game. It takes a couple seconds, and your leader is refreshed for everybody on your friends list to use again. And determining your leader is who you have on the team. Like my leader right now is this guy. If I switch to over here to Horus and hit back, that's currently my leader now. And it'll be my leader until I change my team or change the leader of that team. So, PAL points. This is something that you get for logging in every day and using people as a helper and having your friends use you as a helper as well. There's a max total of 10,000 PAL points right now, which means that you can have a max of 50 pulls at once. And a lot of times, if you go and down here, it'll say PAL egg machine, and it'll show like who can show up in the PAL eggs if you roll PAL eggs. So what I like to do is I like to save my eggs. As you see, I have 40 out of 50 pulls I can do, and I like to wait until it says PAL egg machine, like Super King Dragons may appear. So like it's more beneficial to save them until something is going on with the egg machine. So the tip here is to conserve PAL points as much as possible and wait until there's a PAL egg machine event, and then you just expend all of them on that. A lot of times if I have like 47, 48, 49, then I'll do 10 pulls just because there's a cap at 50, and I feel like I would waste PAL points if I don't spend, so yeah. The next thing I want to talk about is stones, using magic stones. If you are a non-in-app purchase player, then you want to conserve stones as much as possible. This means that you don't want to spend them on, like, you know, frivolous things like increase max number of friends. That's not really something you'd want to do if you're not going to purchase stones in the game. Increasing your monster box capacity is definitely something that is worth it because you can hold more monsters and more evolution materials, and you can just build up supplies. And yeah, this is definitely something that you would want to do. Outside of that, restoring stamina is okay if you're trying to go for a dungeon, or like if you need to rank up, then when you rank up you get refilled stamina and then you can just keep doing more dungeons. So that's okay to do. A lot of people like to save it to roll rare eggs, and the like golden rule of this game is do not roll outside of a Godfest, or only roll when a Godfest is on, and it'll say when a Godfest is on right now. Like right now the rare egg machine is like Carnival of Light. You just can get a bunch of light monsters, or like the light monsters have more of a chance of appearing, but when it says like rare egg machine Godfest live, it'll show all the gods that are available, and then you can spend stones on the rare egg machine and hopefully pull a god that is beneficial to your monster box. A lot of people would ask, well, what should I use as my starting team? Like, how should I go about building a team? And it honestly depends on who you roll at the start of the game. For example, I ended up rolling a Horus, so I decided to build a rainbow team because his ability is 4 times attack when 4 plus colors attack at the same time. So it has to be 4 different orbs, like 4 different color orbs chained in the same combo, and then you get a massive boost. So you have to have the element in the team, so I decided to make a rainbow team, and it works. There are other stuff too, like this leader 2 times attack and recovery for dark monsters, so you just make the whole team dark, and you use a dark helper, and that's how you steamroll through dungeons. But yeah, there's a bunch of different leaders and different elements and variables and factors into building a team, which leads me to my next thing I want to show you guys. If you're really into this game, download PAD Guide from the App Store or Android Market or whatever it is. This thing is a player's best friend. It shows the events, like what events is going on, and you can set alarms. Like I have an alarm set for, it's not an alarm, but it's a reminder. It like shows up in your notifications. It can tell you when certain things are going on, and so like you're actually prepared, and then you can do those time limited dungeons. And it basically shows the whole calendar. Like it shows what's going to come up next. It's only a couple days in advance. Then you get your monsters too. You can search, like if you pull a monster and you're unsure of what it does or what it evolves into or the materials that it takes to evolve it or its skills, its awakened skills, you can just type in the monster's name and it will show you everything about it. Like for example, I got this guy Tengu and I didn't know what he did, so I went to his evolved form and I wanted to see if he was worth evolving. And then it shows he has these awakened skills, like 3 of the same like awakened skill, which is really, really good. So I'm like, okay, well I might as well evolve him. Like, see, I didn't know that, so this guide, like, it definitely helps you out. And then you got the dungeons. You can type in any dungeon name and you can see what it drops, or like how much like stamina it uses and how much experience, stuff like that. But that's better in the utility where you have this dungeon rankings thing. There's so many cool things about this app, and it's so useful, and you can do so much stuff with it. You get an experience calculator, and then you get your monster management and team management, stuff like that. The favorite leader section is very good if you're just starting out the game and you want to know like what the best leaders are, or what the top leaders are, like, because there's a reason that a leader would be ranked really high. So you could aim high. You just keep on re-rolling until you get one of these top monsters or whatever. So that's a really good tool as well. Over here in the settings, you can find out what group you're in, which determines what times the special dungeons show up and all that stuff. And basically you just type in your ID and it syncs the whole app with your time zone and all that. So that's how you get to set alarms and know when certain dungeons are coming up and not. So this is a very good tool. Remember, PAD Guide, definitely something worth checking into. So that's pretty much all of the tips I wanted to give. In summary, we talked about how to re-roll your apps. Just delete and reinstall and do the tutorial until you roll a leader that you really like. We talked about how to refresh your leaders so your friends can use you more. We talked about conservation of POW points and stones, and the starting team, it really depends on what you roll. Other than that, like, dual element teams are probably the easiest to use and produce positive results. And we talked about the app PAD Guide. All that stuff is necessary to really enhance your experience with this game. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment. I read all of them. Bye.